Hey, how about that? How about those jams? How about those headphones? You should
Headphones,
take them
baby.
out. Take them off and show them the logo quick. Show them that before we get too deep into this. Look at this stuff. Custom made WynnBET headphones. That's what you get when you are the
The WynnBET joints,
senior.
they're
Yeah,
nice.
senior trader. You couldn't hear me when you had the headphones off. That was the
No,
problem.
no, no, no. I was kind of just bragging to the world that we got the WynnBET headphone joints. You know what I mean? So something like that. I don't know.
But yeah, we welcome you back, Motoi Pearson, senior trader. We'll take a look at some markets for the weekend, some of the funniness that has occurred in some of these. We've had some goofy ones already. Had some. My God, do they have like a microphone in them? It's like an avalanche when you touch them. Never do that again. I think
My bad.
it's rubbing on your hair, and you have
Yeah, I
so
think
much
it's on the
hair.
hair. The hair's making a difference.
Yeah, I'm worried what kind
Unfortunately.
of product you're using in there. We're gonna have to talk about that off air. Either way, some fun markets this week. Some college football. We got college. College has been our jam already this week. Me and you crushing it with App State. No big
Let's
deal. You were at
go.
like a
Come
rap. You
on.
were at a rap. You were at a rap concert. You weren't even watching. I had to tell you what
I
was
know, yeah.
happening.
You gave me the play-by-play. I appreciate it. I was like barely entering the show, so you were hooking me up with the info, and you gave me the score like an hour into the show. I was going wild, watching, seeing that score.
No, you needed it. You needed the hookup. There's some action tonight. I don't think we're talking about any Friday action. Mostly Saturday. Let's start with the Southeastern Conference, one of the bigger conferences in all of college football.
In the
A lot
world,
of good
I
ball, a
think.
lot of good ball down there. And LSU pulled the old "oh no, coach is getting fired" bump and went out and dropped pert near 50 burger. I don't know what the hell that game was. That game was kind of electric in its own shitty way. But heading a little bit of a tougher test here. Ole Miss. What's the quarterback sitch here?
We are still trying to figure that out. um,
Are you is
it's
that
this
are
is
you the
like,
truth, or are you just trying to smoke screen me?
well, I think they're smoke screening us. The world is, because he's not out, but they're saying like he's kind of leaning to be out just because of the injuries he took. And I carried the ball like 20 times against the Vols. I couldn't understand. I'm like, geez,
It's like
so
30.
yeah, I think it was 30. Yeah, it was, a ridiculous amount regardless. We opened 9.5. I mean, we even to, our power ranking still respected LSU in this game, and we tried to open a little bit lower than the market. We opened 9.5, and right now we're still at 9.5. Usually when like quarterback news comes out like this, we do see, a barrage of money taking a swing at, at one point I think we ended up getting to 10, and we just didn't really see much action to kind of keep us to where market is now, which is around 8.5 at most places. But the quarterback news is not out. I know Corral's banged up, and it's just a weird situation where like we didn't move the line enough or as much considering the news that's going on with Corral.
So this is kind of your median number. Is this one of these where, like, if Corral was announced out right now, would you move it on air, or would you just wait for your bets?
Oh man, I mean I mean I would probably move it maybe a point and a half, a couple points before we start taking some real bets. But I mean, even it's just weird. Like even with him being quote unquote banged up, like he might not play. I figured the money would already tell us where to go up until now, and we're still at the top of the market and not taking any bets, which is interesting to me.
Oh, you heard it here first. The sports book is as clueless as you on this one, and that's
It
fine
might
with
just be
me.
me personally.
No, well, the market's pretty much sitting where you're sitting. So, and not like I'm not sure anyone would tip their hand. Although, if somebody got tipped, it's like the old thing you hear about it in the olden days, where like somebody might let somebody know, maybe let a sports book know, hey, he's out. Give me a $30,000 bet quick though. And then they shake
Exactly.
hands
Yeah.
and they shake hands on everything, and we move on with the day. So, all right. Well, we'll wait and see on that one. His Heisman hopes are kind of banking on him playing. I wonder if that ticks him towards wanting to get on that stage. Obviously, improve your draft chances, get that bag. I'd play. I'd just play.
Yeah.
It's LSU.
He
It's
needs
not
to play.
Bama.
I can see he's like the guy, like the prototypical Heisman looking candidate when he's on the field. Like this is a man that needs to play to continue to, getting the recognition he deserves to possibly win the Heisman.
Sure. I dig it. All right. Up north, not that far north. Further south than me, but further north than you. Iowa State, Ames, Oklahoma State. This is one of these where we get the old ranked team as a touchdown underdog to the unranked team. But the power rankings say another thing, and AP rankings are silly to begin with. And really, I don't know, if you didn't get second half Sark, would we have an Oklahoma State team that was quite this highly ranked? And I don't know, have you taken any? Where'd you open on this? First off, let's start back at the beginning.
This is like the only one that we opened this first in the world on Saturday night. So I mean, amongst this and the Ole Miss game that I didn't say it earlier, but between the power rankings me and Lindy had, I think I was kind of hating on Iowa State, the past few games. I kind of had them low. I think I had the line maybe 2.5 before I adjusted, and now I have 4, and Lindy had like 6.5, 7. So we opened 4 and immediately took Oklahoma State bets, and we're like, all right, let's get the hell off this, immediately. And as soon as the rest of the market opened, it was around 6.5, and now it's 7. So, I mean, that's kind of how that kind of shaped up. I'm expecting buyback on Oklahoma State anyway, but it seems like, Iowa State is more or less the right side up until now from what we've seen.
Well, especially at those terrible early numbers. Again, well, and not only that, but you kind of said something there. You were the world opener on this. Explain what you're doing with some of these college lines. They're kind of like it's almost like game of the year in year. Like you're picking a couple big games, big matchups, and you're opening them before the market opens them. What are you nuts?
Yeah, it's definitely nuts. Number one. Number two, I think we just kind of, I think it's around like 3 or 4 p.m. because we have to obviously see how the week is or the day is forming with the games. And, obviously big losses can knock a team out of our discussion of like, okay, that's probably not going to be a big game. If this team loses, so on and so forth. So, we start around 3 or 4 p.m., have a discussion with the room on, what games are important, what are key games. Obviously, USC Notre Dame is not as of importance because, they're not having – but, that's an important game to college football, and that was one of the ones we did too. So, we just take a look at all angles from which ones would probably get action or would deserve to be on there just because of the rank and merit of the teams. But we're already working on the power rankings up until then. So when we do find out the 5 teams or 5 games that we want to do, we'll release the lines around 7 p.m. ish Pacific time.
How many are you going to do this weekend? Like, do you already have them mapped out? Like which lines you're going to open early?
No, not yet. And that's, once again, it's, basically all due to how we do our power rankings the day of, and then how the things work out that week. And then we kind of, because obviously we have our numbers for next week, but we just kind of want to see how the teams do to pick the teams that Saturday.
It's funny too. It's like we talked to Chris Felica a little this morning on Brown Bag Bets, and it was kind of the same thing too. He talked about like, well, this was a team that we were thinking about taking game day there next week, but then they lost. Like
exactly,
now nobody wants to, like, you gotta look at the games that you might take some early action on. You have an interest in, and a team losing kind of screws that all for you. So you can be mad at some 18-year-old kids if you want, I guess. So, all right, well let's soldier on through the rest of this college slate. You sent me. I feel like this was a mistake, and you send me these texts. You send me these texts pretty late. This is a game from like 3 weeks ago, Motoi. What the fuck is this?
Okay, so that's exactly why I wanted to bring it up. I wanted to tell the world that this game already happened once. This is not a Mandela effect of any sorts. This is a real game, and I think it's New Mexico State or Hawaii has 13 games on their schedule. It's ridiculous. But this game already was played, and I just wanted to talk about the total just because New Mexico State's involved with it. And most places open this a little bit lower, around 57.5, 58, and our number was like 61, 62. So, we've been trying to stay on top of this thing, and, we seen the steam come in a couple of days ago, and I said, I'm definitely going to talk about this. I don't care what Andy thinks or what game it is. Most importantly, I had to talk about New Mexico State overs, and this was like the perfect time to do it.
This game, so again, I'm going to dig into this a little further for some reason, but yeah, New Mexico State's averaging about 70 points a game for the last 3 weeks and 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Before that, even there's some 60, 70, 80 point games in there. But yeah, these teams played already in Christ. If I could tell you what city New Mexico State was in, Albuquerque,
I think it's
Las
Albuquerque.
Cruces, Las
Maybe Las
Cruces.
Cruces. Albuquerque is the Lobos, I think.
I don't
Las
see Dan
Cruces sounds
typing,
like-
so he doesn't know it off the top of his head either. So he's going to look it up now for sure. But these teams did play Las Cruces. Look at that. These teams did play earlier in the Dan in the Slack channel says, I knew that. So, and I believe him. He has so much.
Yeah, he
so
knows.
much of this
He knows.
useless knowledge in his
Dan
head.
knows for
But they,
sure.
yeah, these teams, yeah, this is not something you see every day. Obviously, I don't know if I've ever seen this. These teams already played each other. Not only already played each other, but played each other on September 25th. So like 4 weeks apart. They played in Las Cruces. Now they will play in Hawaii, the islands. So we got an island game on an island game. And yeah, I might just tickle this over, ride the steam, baby.
Yeah, it's such an interesting dynamic, and it's the same way. I think the line that we had around that time was like 17 and 63. So I mean, if someone's just going to ask, like, what would you make the line a few weeks later after? Because I think Hawaii won by 20, 41-21.
Exactly.
It's essentially like a spitting image of what we have here. So this is kind of a question if anybody had on a game like this. This is essentially why I'm bringing this up now.
So this is a real game. This is actually happening. Rematch, instant revenge for the Aggies, which will not happen because they're clearly
they're gonna get
mopped. Lost by 20 at home. They're gonna lose badly. we're just gonna take Hawaii team total over 44 or whatever it is.
I think I put Hawaii into like 5 games this season on Market Matter. Like I'm trying to just put them into every single show we have, no matter what. I don't care what happens.
If I was watching a show and I was looking for an expert opinion on Hawaii, I would want it from you.
Of course. That's fair.
You've been there. Yeah, you've been there.
I've been there, I've seen it. It's nice. It's an island.
It's a beautiful island. All right, on to the big boys, the pros. We're gonna start with the Panthers at the Giants. This is getting beat up the wrong way for me. I don't have I think I'm just lower than I'm pretty much on market with my Carolina ranking, I believe. Talking to a couple other people, I have the Giants lower than some people. I made this on the other side of 3. I bet this at 2.5. I'm seeing 1.5s in the market. Obviously, the injury news was bad for the Giants, but it was expected. I felt like the Tony news, the Saquon, Galladay too, I believe. I feel like all that was kind of built into the number. I wasn't expecting like, oh, wait till they find out Saquon's out. This is going to jump to 4. Like, first of all, it's a running back, and second of all, people know. So, like, what kind of action have you taken here on the side?
I mean, just to tag along on that, like the Browns is a perfect example of every single good player on your team being injured and then winning that game. I mean, it's just sports in general. So, we opened this 2.5. We ended up at 2.5 minus 20, and we've been there ever since Sunday. So, we've only seen Panthers money this whole time. I think it's one of the bigger games that we have on hand as far as handle's concerned. But not enough action or not enough respected action for us to move off that. So we're gonna hang tight here at 2.5 20 until we figure out what we want to do with the game going forward.
Yeah, and hopefully it's just Panthers money. I want the market to agree with me for once. Although it's okay to be the buyback. Like we talked about this on the halftime scope. Rob Pizzola put a tweet out the other day. He said, if you're gonna bet the Broncos at post, you have to turn in your gambling card. Like he just said, like you can't do that. There's a 4.5 day and I like bet it when it's find a stale number, even like hours after all the news comes out. Just get a good number. And I ended up being the other guy. I'm like, well, I'm gonna take the Browns at this number at this point. I don't care who's hurt. The Broncos aren't good. Like they're just not a good enough team to
And like anyone that's betting, regardless, I mean, it's so fundamental to just know that, like to obviously bet it at the best number available. I mean that because I ended up betting the Browns too. I was like, this is just getting out of hand, like with all this stuff. So yeah, it's just one of those things for sure.
How's it feel to be rich after a nice Thursday night game?
I don't know I don't know how to spell rich. I don't know anything
C
about
notes
that.
by the layers. There we go.
True effing
I'm so
players. Yeah.
I'm involved in this one. I'm hoping Carolina continues to take some money. Hopefully things trend the right way. I don't think Carolina's very good, but I think the Giants are that much worse. I have them rated near the Jets. Lions Rams.
Jesus.
I know I'm really hard on the Giants. I'm just really down on the coaching right now. We have a gob of these games where there's a 2 touchdown favorite in the NFL this week. It's awful. We have one of these weeks every year where you end up getting 3 or 4 division champs, pending division champs or division leaders playing some dregs and playing them at home. Same thing with Arizona. So Rams are 15.5-point favorites. We've seen the market, grab big numbers on dogs like this in the past. We've seen it earlier with the Bills Texans game was a good example. Texans just got hammered all early in the week, and then late money came in on the Bills and drove that up to like 19 at some shops. Bills win by 40, obviously. What have is this? You wanted to talk the side or total here? I think you did want to talk the side a little.
Yeah, it's this one. We opened 16 down to 15.5. We were actually at 14.5 yesterday, looking to take some Rams money. I think we're going to be big fan. I think we like Lions on our end at WynnBET. I obviously wanted to tell that to any of the viewers, considering if they wanted to come bet it with us, whatever the case is. But it hasn't been a game of massive handle, but we have seen two-way on it, which is pretty interesting. I'm just going to consider or assume that we're going to take some Lions money line wax, as there usually is. I mean, people are going to come in and bet a couple hundred on stuff like that. But it's Stafford gets to face his old team. It's a pretty good deal with the storylines and all that. And we're gonna be fans of the Lions no matter what until kick. So it'll be a big deal for us on this game.
It would have been more fun if the Lions were good. Like you're right. The storyline is fun, like the Goff Stafford thing, but like it sucks that one team is just so bad.
Yeah,
and any given Sunday, Mo, things can happen. Like things happen. Like I've brought this up before. I brought this up this week because we have 3 of these games. The Minnesota Vikings went in as a 17.5-point favorite at home to a young Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills in a team that wasn't expected to do much, and they lost by like 20. I mean, they got waxed. It wasn't like that one was in doubt ever. We left it. I went to the game. I left at halftime because it's like, well, let's go drink beers that aren't $14. Like if we're gonna watch, there was a new stadium. I wanted to go see the new stadium. That was it. I said, let's get the F out of here. Let's go drink somewhere else. Garbage. But yeah, let's just here's a good comment from Clint in the chat. Just wait for the Lions live at plus 27. I do worry about the efficiency. The Rams offense was awful efficient last week. Like this is going to be one where if you grab the Lions, you're probably going to know early. Like, oh shit, I'm not getting in this back door. They're going to just continue to give up gobs.
Lindy thinks they're second half warriors. This Lions team. Obviously, that wasn't the case against the Bengals, but they have been competitive in a lot of these second halves. I mean, it's
Minnesota,
it's more of a
Chicago,
funny case,
or Green Bay rather.
Yeah, it's more of a funny case that they lose a game like that against the Bengals, where the coach cries, they get absolutely smoked by the Bengals at home. But now I mean, usually I like to pick spots to take points and like this. I mean, it just seems so easy for the Rams after beating the Giants like that. I mean, I think this could possibly be a close game the most can think.
Yeah, and I took the Bengals in that spot. Like I sold it out to 4, got plus money. I couldn't make I made that number like 6. Bengals Lions. I'm very low on the Lions as well, but with the probably the adjustments in the market and the market sentiment for the Rams blowing the shit out of a bad team and the Lions looking horrible against a team that's been a laughing stock for a decade, I think the sentiment is there that the Lions are probably near the bottom of their range. Like it's getting close to some buy spots for me with the Lions, just not this week. Maybe Lions. I like what you said. Maybe I'll go through Lions second half. Why get involved in this one pregame when you can just grab Lions second half of when they're down by 30 and you still get them at like plus 2.
I'll have you text me updates when I'm somewhere deep, far and wide.
What? You're off at like a Missy Elliott concert or something. God knows. I don't know what you have scheduled for this Sunday. I would assume you'll be working.
I'll be working. Speaking
of those bungles, they are. And speaking of market ranges, they're probably getting closer to the top of their range. They are only a 6-point underdog at home, on the road in division versus the Ravens. What have you been seeing here?
So we opened, let's see what I have. We opened 6.5, got to 6.5, 20. And I think we were near the top of the market when it opened on Sunday night. And the handle's been pretty good. We've seen some respected action on Bengals, which I thought we would, and we're at 6 right now. So we're at 6, total's 46.5. Not much action on the total. I'm looking forward to seeing how much action we're going to get on the Bengals. Obviously, both teams have been playing awesome. The Ravens being, at least a touchdown favorite, we respect that much. But, we're going to try to balance out this Bengals money we're going to get going up until kick.
Yeah, I don't know quite what to do with this. I should pull up my power numbers on this one. I did some updating, and I still I like the Bengals. I've liked what they've done on offense. The defense hasn't been too bad. I am looking at week 6. That's not going to help me whatsoever. I would make this game. Well, I'm at a 6.7.
Yeah, so right there.
Which is fair.
Right in range.
Fair. But at the same time, I'm not in the market to take favorites in division games all that often. Especially, a team that's probably getting a little – these teams are both getting – they're getting their shoulders rubbed. They're getting their backs scratched in the market right now. People are loving these teams. They can't say anything bad about them right now. They're playing very well. So, if anything, total might be a little low. Baltimore's defense kind of stunk the other week. They were giving up some chunks. They look good against the Chargers, but –
yeah, that's the one we talked about. We talked about that last week when that total went from 50 to 52, 52.5, that Chargers Ravens last week. And I said, it's almost a fallacy from what they did the week before, and it flew under. Those are just the things that people need to see and know. When a total moves like that and it's not respected action, usually those bets aren't coming in. It was just a dead under from the get, and the Chargers looked terrible doing it. So.
Yeah, the Chargers, you'll have weeks like that. The Chargers offense will get back on track. That was a bit of an aberration. The biggest thing was the Chargers were missing 2 key defensive pieces, and you can't be missing especially, I don't know if they're super speedy, but you have a pretty good safety and a decent linebacker. Those are the kind of guys you need to chase down Lamar, to chase down these tight ends, to stay on, some of this mid-range stuff that they kill you with all day. So I was on the Ravens there, I think in a couple live spots, and it was just oh man, this is going to be way easier than I thought if the Chargers never score. I expected the Chargers to get to 20. I was a little surprised that total stayed under the opening 50.
I was just surprised because they were going for it on 4th down more than I thought they should have, and I don't think they converted. I think they went for 1 or 4 or 1 or 5 on 4th down conversion.
Yeah, a little regression there.
Brutal.
Well, they were 7 for 8. It's easy to talk nice about Staley and say he's so smart when you're 7 for 8 on 4th down. If you're always getting them, of course. Everyone's results oriented. It's easy. Just do that. Well, they went for it on 4th, and then they went and scored. It's a great thing.
It only sucks when you lose the game by 30. That's when it's bad. When you're not getting them, I would say so.
Getting the shit kicked out of you, losing by 4 scores. That it's harder to say nice things. So, speaking of harder to say nice things, it's been hard to say nice things about your FCS picks.
Beautiful segue. Thank you. I appreciate that. Just horrible.
I want to just throw you down and kick you in the side. We will take a look at the Sacramento State is a stinky ass team, and they are a favorite against another pretty stinky team here too, in the Lumberjacks. The Lumberjacks are a really, really bad college basketball team. I can tell you that. That team regularly gets trucked out in the whack. I'm excited about college basketball start here soon, but talk me through this one.
All right, so from what I've seen, after Northern Arizona somehow beaten Arizona before we figured out Arizona was just a pile of trash, they became pretty competitive. The first 2 teams they played were Sam Houston State and South Dakota, in the top 6 of my power rankings, and ever since then they've been kind of rolling over a lot of these Big Sky opponents. Idaho State, I think they had a rough one against Northern Colorado, but the offense looks like it's playing pretty well, and they're playing against a Sacramento team coming off a big win against Montana. The Grizz haven't been playing as well going forward. that's a pretty big win for Sacramento. But to go home to be laying something like this, I thought the number should be around maybe 3 or 4. So catching a touchdown with an offensive team or a team that's playing well on offense like Northern Arizona, I'd probably take the touchdown and pray for my life that it gets there. So I can continue to give out picks here. It can't be. You have to take the Lumberjacks and then just not watch the game. We'll talk about it in 2 days.
That's what I've been doing, is taking your picks and not watching the game, and then watching the number in the top corner of the sports book just get smaller every week, a little bit, little by little.
I just want to say that I feel like I can't pick any dogs to save my life, so I'm trying to get one so people can know I can pick a dog that can at least get inside the number.
Yeah, you're like 2 weeks away. You're 2 weeks away from people accusing you of just like, oh, he works for the book. He's just giving out losers on purpose. I assure you, this guy's actually trying to win because he's a degenerate gambler as well. And he's just having a bad stretch. And you've had a good week. So it's just it's a 1-game sample size. It's hard.
I can't give out all the FCS plays that go well, but I'm going to own the ones I give out no matter what. I can't. You know what I mean? Like, even if I crush for a week, the one that I gave out, I'm going to be heard about no matter what. Yeah. It's just a personal thing.
Let's go Jacks.
Come on.
Lumberjacks. Come on, baby. Touching base real quick because you know what? Usually I don't have nice things to say about you when in the DMs. I'm usually just like criticizing or criticizing like, hey, can you fix this? Or there's something goofy going on with this line on the site. And you guys have been great about the tech, actually helping me out on that side. But a lot of people were confused about the Steph Curry line. Set that straight on the preseason thing. Can you? And also, that's my question. Can you still bet into those, or are they off the board once the season starts?
We might put up a few more of them. Sorry about that. We might put up a few more of them.
Whatever.
Yeah, the 75th anniversary props. As the season goes on, if there's like a few of them that we can price easily and that makes sense, we might throw them back up. Me and Alan have talked about that. Sawyer, young guy will hook us up.
Have Sawyer work on that over All-Star break after second half of the season kind of shit. That'd be fun.
Yeah. So the Steph Curry deal. It's an unfortunate.
People were calling you guys idiots, basically. Like that's a terrible line.
There's 2 trains of thought. So the first train of thought when we put this out, they, like our marketing, unfortunately didn't put in the spread that we had with the 7 3-pointers that Larry Bird made. So essentially we tried to put it in with a handicap that Larry Bird hit 7 threes in one game. And we tried to put it in with a spread that was actually in the selections that had -4.5 Steph Curry and +4.5 Larry Bird. So essentially the total was 11.5. So that's how we priced it. But in one of the states, we didn't have the handicap in for it. So it just looked like Steph Curry -$2 to get over. He just hit that obviously yesterday in, dramatic fashion.
5 in the first quarter. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the guy scored 25 points in one quarter, but that was the issue. And maybe we did a terrible job on our part kind of putting that stuff together, but that's how it was supposed to be when we put it out. It was supposed to be a handicap with the Larry Bird hitting 7, and we put Steph Curry -4.5 above that. So that's how we priced it, as 11.5 and not 7, So
I straightened some people out. I let them know. I'm like, I talked to Mo. It's not just to get to 7 3-pointers. That's just free money. Like, they're not dumb. They're a sportsbook. They didn't build that nice office in South Henderson, off giving money away, guys. So either way,
and it sucks because it's still being brought up now, and I'm like, man, like, we did not mean it to be, what it was. And obviously people are kind of giving us feedback, which, on our end, we kind of messed up on some of the selections, but I just want people to know that's the pricing of 11.5 and not 7. So yeah, we would have known better regardless.
Debatable. All right, before you go,
personally, I don't know, but
you got any cool promos? What do you got for the weekend?
Oh man,
I think what I'm sending out to people is like actually, bet $1, win 100. Like, there's some cool ones like that. Give me something, even if it's state specific. If it's state specific, even better.
We don't have any promos as of yet, but I have something for you. We're dropping 8 of the best college basketball games that are coming up. We're going to put out the world openers on those lines coming up here. So if you want to take a look at those, our boy Lindy hooked them up.
Are any of them going to be in the Ohio Valley Conference?
No, if you can't, I mean, it's still for
Then
the
I'm not
love of the
interested.
game. You have to bet Kansas or UNC if you really love college hoops.
Don't want it. Don't want it. Can't keep taking it, giving it back, pushing it right back.
I'll
I don't want
throw up Marist. I'll throw up Marist Quinnipiac for you, like on a game in December, like December 22nd. I'll throw that up for you. Personally, I'll throw that up.
You can't see Dan, but he's waving his arms wildly. He's going to the Quinnipiac hockey game tonight. Big Quinnipiac fan. Go Quins.
I love it.
I don't know what their mascot is. I'm blanking on Quinnipiac right now. I feel like it's something mildly racist, like Eskimos or something. Bobcats. There we go.
Bobcats. Yeah.
Bobcats, yeah. Niagara, obviously the Purple Eagles. I have their shorts.
Purple Eagles.
All right. I'll let you get back to work. I'm going to call it a weekend. Get ready to go to Outback. And they're playing North Dakota.
Onions for the Oh, geez.
That's funny because their team name literally used to be racist before it was the Screaming Eagles or whatever. It was the Fighting Sioux.
Fighting Sioux, that's correct.
Yeah, the Fighting Sioux was not a name that they kept. So, all right, I'll let you get back to work. I'm going to get ready for Outback, get ready for the weekend, get ready for probably date night with the wife. No big deal. Sorry that you'll just be spending Friday working.
I just, it's all I do, man. I'll wait till the summer to get back out and do my thing.
No elaboration needed on that. We'll figure that out off the air. All right. Thanks a lot, Mo. Thanks for everybody in the chat. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Follow Mo on Twitter @Heed These Takes. It's going to be a lot of hip hop and
right.
shit, but whatever.
Yeah, it's good, man. Better than sports. I know that.
So
better than my FCS plays.
Say that again, brother. We will catch you guys. Same danger place, same danger time next Friday. See you guys.